What's not to love about this show? Is it the fact that it's conversational, or the fact that it's very entertaining with all the questions they throw at me, or the fact that we always dissect issues and most importantly, we put to rest long-standing arguments that relate to business, the organization, the workplace, and individuals generally? This is Ceed Chat, and in case you haven't heard or seen us, then this is the best time to click the subscribe button on YouTube and also click the share button because your friends or friends of friends might need this information that we are about to share. Once again, welcome to Ceed Chat. My name is Blessings Mosugu, and this program is proudly brought to you by Ceed Academy. Well, in my introduction, I talked about the fact that we always put to rest long-standing issues, and we always have professionals to do that for us. So today, I am joined by no other person than a masterclass guru, a business consultant, an excellent one at that, and I'm talking about Mr. Ajibola Bamidele. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajibola.
Thank you for having me again.
It's a pleasure. Right, so today we're talking about a very important issue, and that circles around the working hours, whether or not people should be at work from 9 to 5. Drop your comments in the comment section and let's know which one you prefer, which one works better.
It'll definitely be work from office for me because of discipline. I feel more committed and disciplined when I'm in the office. If I'm at home, I find myself in the kitchen like 50 times, picking something to eat, and then that distracts me a lot. So,
because of the kind of work I do, I like to think and walk around, and that I can be in any position, sit down, stand up, move here and there and all of that. But being in a fixed position for me it's not bad, but then I'll prefer to walk around so I can come up with new ideas and make my content look very different. So yeah, I'll pick up from it.
So it's definitely working from home for me. It's flexible and I can multitask, do so many things while focusing on my job.
Work from the office, of course. So my reason is because I think the environment is a push, and if I do it at home, I'll just be alone. That's boring.
But for us, we're going to be talking about it here in the studio. So, Mr. Ajibola Bamidele, 9 to 5 as opposed to remote work. Some people will say that, why are we working for 9 to 5? It's consuming energy, it's consuming time, it's consuming resources. We can as well just be at home and do the same thing, things like that. And some are saying, if you're at work from 9 to 5, it keeps you focused, you can get your job done and go home and all. So over to you.
So that argument, I see it differently because when people say 9 to 5 and they're comparing it with remote work, I see that remote work is also the same thing as 9 to 5. It's just that the location was different. So we're saying on-site or remote work, off-site. So on-site means you can be seen. Off-site means you are independent and you can manage yourself. So now, to decide or to determine whether your team is matured for either on-site or off-site, it's just like children, can they now work off-site where the parents are or on-site? It's about their maturity. So now, whether 9 to 5 or no 9 to 5, the more companies put in more hours, the more they get. So it's just like the more hours, somebody is putting 1 hour to something, somebody is using 2 hours. So if you put in the same effort, if it's a work you can do from home, but you put in the same 9 to 5 at home, or 9 to 5 at work. So 9 to 5 or remote should not be I don't think it's 9 to 5 is 9 to 5. So we're considering whether you're doing on-site or off-site.
Okay.
Now, but in the case of most conventional Nigeria, people call 9 to 5 or remote as part-time. Because I know of someone that called me one time and said, oh, you can now see me because I now work remote. I can go anywhere. So meaning that person actually does not want to put in the number of hours of work. So if you put that kind of stuff back, you've just lost. But that guy would do 2 hours. I've seen situations whereby we implemented remote at some point, and you call someone and say, oh, I'm in the market, I can't talk now. And you're wondering, but you're working from home. You're not on holiday, and it's still 9 to 5. It's just that most times developing nations don't have ways to monitor. So you don't know who's there. I know of someone that was talking to me about how there are retina recognition, whereby if your eyes move away from your laptop or what you're meant to do and it's looking at social media, they take it out of your salary.
Wow.
So it means that there's no need. Stay at home. But I don't need, because people are even working 9 to 5, but they're not working 9 to 5. They're actually on site, but they're off site, on site. So we call it presentism.
Presentism, yeah.
So it means that those guys are still going to cheat. Either they're at work or they're not at work. So for me, I see more of people are just fighting to cheat more. But however, if it's about 9 to 5, on-site and remote, I feel I can now say, okay, you do 9 to 5, either on-site or remote, because it saves you money if you're at home. It saves you less stress because you're working from home. But you're still keen your 9 to 5. So
you know, I was going to say that, right? Because especially, let's look at Lagos as our case study.
Okay.
Right? In a situation where a person is supposed to resume, let's say 7 a.m., for example, and close by 5 and resume 7 a.m. the next day. In a case where the person stays in Lagos, it's a no-brainer. Even if you leave your house by 5, once you leave 5:30, for example, you stay in Egbeda and you're going to the island. Once you leave your house by 5:30, you're already late.
definitely.
There's no, you cannot do any mago. There's
That's
no
Lagos
magic,
for you.
right? So once you leave your house at 5:30, you'll be getting to work by 8:39.
Yeah.
So that aside, so you've wasted like 3 hours of your morning time. Then you get to work all fagged out, then you're late, you're disorganized. It takes you like 2 extra hours to put yourself together before you start working. Then you close at 5, and then because of the distance of your house, you can't even stay an extra minute. So immediately you're rushing out. But even from the island to Egbeda still, if you leave by 5, if you don't leave from 3:30, once you are leaving 4 or 5, you will get home by 9:30, 10.
Excellent.
That one is steady. So in that kind of situation, the person is getting home by 10 p.m. and has to, once you get home, some people still have to do dinner, so they shower, they sleep at 11:30, and then they have to wake up by 7. So this alone is already cumbersome, not because the work itself is stressful, but because the means of transporting there is stressful.
Excellent.
So in that kind of situation, would a manager or a business owner rather have these people work from home and find a way to properly monitor them, or just have them burn time and energy, and then at the end of the day they are not so productive at work?
Okay, so it depends on the structure of work. Some work cannot be done from home, like eatery.
Yes.
So you're talking about the kind of work.
Yeah, that can read
Because some kind of work, if you make people work from home, you kill the business. Because eatery, who will come to your house in Egbeda, and your restaurant is on the island, and you now say, okay, just come and buy from home. My staff are working from home. So we must know the nature of work itself.
Right.
So what I feel the question you're asking is jobs that can be done remotely.
Of course.
Excellent.
Of course.
So
please, let's clarify. Jobs that can be done remotely.
Because
Don't be cooking from your kitchen and send
because I know people just say, okay, you want to work with us? Is it remote? You don't even know the kind of job. We don't know whether you can do that job on site. You have to do it on site or off site.
like a footballer asking if
is it going to be remote? So not all jobs. So the kind of job you're talking about is the jobs we can do from home. So we want to ask ourselves questions that, how do we, even when people are on site, of course, employers want people to be productive. So if you're stressed coming all the way, it will affect the job. It will affect creativity. These guys have been stressed. So there are 2 ways. If you have matured people, they can stay off work and work. Of course, increase their productivity because they will still log in number of hours, but it reduces their stress. They get to work. They wake up. Maybe you're at 8 o'clock. They wake up 7. Then they just work their laptop. They key in. They close 5 o'clock, but they're productive all through. Now, that is if they can manage that. Because some friends, when they see your car outside and you do that, they believe you're at work.
Yeah.
You're at home. Oh, you didn't go out to work today. And they just come in.
Let's play PS now.
And you start chatting.
Yeah.
So sometimes, the reason why some employers also are not open to it is that it depends on the business risk you are opening to. Because some people can be so, should I say, negligent about data management, privacy issues. They just allow their family come into their system. Yeah. They cannot, know where friends cannot, boundaries cannot be set. So there are also privacy issues that companies also consider and say, no, you have to come and do it on site. And when it comes to on site also, people want to be in a place that they can see you do things. Of course, when there's performance, it's not very clear. So what companies do now is make sure you are clear when it comes to performance indicators. And you say, okay, since I know what you're meant to do, okay, do it off work or do it on site. But just make sure you do it. But if you don't do it, then there are more penalties. But don't forget, in school days, people that stay in campus are more controlled than people that stay off campus. Because during campus, what they call it, they can see what you're doing. School authorities see whether you're taking the book or taking something. But they're more controlled than people that stay off campus. So when you see people that actually are going weird, they say not everybody is matured to stay out of reach. So we want to also know whether are these employees you're about to put on remote work, are they matured? Will they do it? So there's so many considerations when you're talking about beyond, because if you consider only the comfort of the employee, not only the work that should be done, will you get the work done? So if 9 to 5 will get your work done, your clients all over the world reach out to you from anywhere 9 to 5, but your employees at home is saying there's no gen, there's no network. That's why I wasn't online for 3 hours. But your clients are reaching out to you from Asia, from anyone. They couldn't reach out because the employee's line, it doesn't have the infrastructure to support those things. That's also a challenge. So at the end of the day, the work of the employer is suffering, and what gets rewarded is the work of the employer. Now, all logistics around that, the employee is staying at Ayobo or something, those are other things around the work. So you're saying now that most employers, what they do now, which I've seen some employers talk about it, is that when you stay very far, they don't give you a job.
Yeah, there's that.
Because they are considering, you know what, if I want you at work, you must
So that's like one of the new questions that people ask now in interviews when they ask, in fact, when they say, what's your name, what do you do, where do you stay? Because they want to know, they don't want the problem of, oh, my house is far, I want to go early. Because I've also seen instances where I've worked in companies where you see two people that are of the same capabilities, two people that are fully equipped, well equipped. One stays closer, one stays farther. And then because one stays closer, he's expected to resume at 7, close by 5. But the one that stays farther can resume at 9 and can close by 3, which is partial. Yes, but I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that happen.
No, that's bad culture. Why should you consider? So the person that is staying close is paying for it.
Exactly.
The person that is staying far is saving cost. So he wants to burn that time in traffic because there's a cost for everything you do. And that's why somebody is looking for 3 bedroom very far and they want to stay at about 3 bedroom. Instead of staying 1 bedroom, close to the office. It's paying the same amount of money for 1 bedroom and 3 bedroom. But throughout my career, I ensure that I stay close to work because of and sometimes the time I should be staying in 3 bedroom, I decided to stay in 1 bedroom because my sanity is very important.
So that's another thing because it's inevitable, right? Imagine if, let's say, I get a job today and I decide that, let's say I get a job at Bagada, for example, and I decide, let me stay closer to Bagada. And then I'm staying close to Bagada, and the next thing is something happens, let's say, God forbid, the company liquidates or something, and then I get another job, lucky for me, in the next 2 months at Yanokbaja. I've already started staying at Bagada because so within that time, I will now have to start, transporting to Yanokbaja, pending when I'll get. So I think that a lot of people don't exactly have the option because depending on, they might have tried to get jobs closer to where they stay, but it didn't work, and then they now got a job at what's it called, Ekwe.
So there's no way. You see, you have to count the costs.
Yeah.
The employer is no longer the person that is in this middle of this issue. You see, most times what happens is because of Nigeria, if you're in America, anybody, you don't need to ask someone where do you stay, because that's insultive. That person that is even applying knows that is 90 miles or 40 miles from work. So for you to apply there, you should have counted the cost. So why is the employer even asking you? That's discrimination. And considering where you stay is also discriminatory. If somebody is staying close door, why do you have to know where he's staying? What you need to know is what you require for your work. That person deals with it himself. Those are personal things. So what happens in Nigeria is we try to get involve the employee's life. And already we're already breaking.
Asking unnecessarily personal questions.
Are you not saying that? You are the one that also mentioned now that if employers don't consider that they are bad, employers doing very far. So why should they get involved?
But there's some employers there's some questions that they ask that I still don't see the reason. This is a bit of a deviation, but why would a person be asking me if I'm married? Would it determine my capability?
Okay, so there are different issues why people try to fight. You shouldn't, but don't forget that people say things like, don't you know I have children at home? They want to kill me. I have children at home, I should leave early. Then you want employers to consider that. Yeah. But and more so if your employer does not have children. Because doesn't have children. He doesn't know how it is happening in the body of the people that have children. We have a way we put it in Yoruba that if you know how it is doing someone, that you know what to do. But it's a challenge. So we believe that. I know someone one time they said the reason why my employer doesn't let me go home 3 o'clock when I have 2 kids at home is because she doesn't have a child and she's 60. That's why she doesn't have a child. You wonder, what does this mean? Because the employer doesn't have a child. So, or if the employer has a child, say because he's not enjoying our family, and me, I'm enjoying my family.
She must be having issues with her husband.
That's why he doesn't want to go home. The home is oven. If it's a place to go, he will look up to it. So most times when you just see people that are effective, that want to work, that want to make you clock in and clock out, you start looking for other things that is causing those things.
Yeah. But what of the aspect of company resources now? Because as much as people might use that as an excuse, it's actually a valid point, right? Let's say, for example, in a company where there's so many people working, let's say 100 staff, for example, and then 100 staff to let's say 5 rooms or something, it will definitely be choked. So in a situation where instead of having everybody come on side and try and fight for computer, they sit down for here. No, I was here before. You stole my seat. There's no seat. Just stand and wait. In that situation, is there no way to just, all of you that do not necessarily need to be in the office, why not work from home? And then
I've also said, you see, it's not compulsory everybody should work from on site. People can work from home if what they are doing can be handled from home. And you also look at you must make sure your KPIs are clear. If it's clear, why do you want even to see employees at work? And that person is even spending half of the time doing other things that is not related to work. So the most important thing is that, do you understand the KPIs, what you are measuring? Is it that person's presence or that person's impact, value is bringing? So all your value can be given at work. And employers should stop being emotional about performance management. If somebody is not giving value, of course, you can decide to do anything at home, but so when you're delivering value, if you're not, then that's why I come for you. I know of different employees also, even when they're working on site, they're spending half of that employer's time doing other things.
Even applying for other jobs.
And also, I know of a lady that is doing logistics. And he's imagining, go and drop it here. Employer's time. And it's at work. The employer is thinking it's at work, but that person is actually 50% of the time is managing one Okada man. Go and drop it here, go and drop it here. Yeah. He's not putting his mind at work. Yeah. So that person too, we cannot say he's working.
But at the end of the day, we can't exactly blame the employers. And that's what people fail to understand. Because probably looking at the track record, it has set a precedent. Maybe people they had before working from home, you call on Zoom, just like you said, I went to buy food stuff in the market. If you were in the office, you wouldn't be buying food stuff in the market. Or you call on Zoom, we don't have lights. But we say you should work from office. You assured us that, because most times people will say or do anything to get the opportunity to work from home.
I tried it in our office a while ago.
How did that go?
Now, there's this particular team member of mine that I've been excellent for like a year. She meets our goals. The moment we activated remote work, our performance went down 75, 80%. Wow. She started delivering only 20% of what we've never seen before. Now, it became a trouble that we tried it. And this person actually can do work from home. The work can be done from anywhere. So that means that person cannot. And that person, even while the person came back, boarding back has been tough. Because integrating back and all.
Yeah.
Maybe the person have incorporated a lot of things that, because the reason why that person stopped working well is that person have taken up more things.
Yeah, exactly.
The person might even be doing more jobs.
You'll see it as an opportunity.
To do more jobs. I'm free now. Now you're bringing that person on ground, and that person is not delivering anymore. So now, ask me, are you really willing now? Do you think we will be willing to always deploy remote work? Because it kills the business.
Yeah.
But remote work is the best because it saves you space, it saves you energy, people are home, so one day will deliver. So I'm not against remote work, I'm not for remote work. It depends on if it will help your business, do it. If the nature or structure can work that way, do it. But make sure whatever you do, think about the business, sustainability, and think about employee satisfaction. But don't put employee satisfaction over business sustainability. Make sure there's a balance. But because what pays the bills? The business. So put everything in place. And you rather want to deploy, I rather want to do it part-time. If an employee says, okay, you know what, I want to work from home too. And I say, you know what, I'll reduce the number of hours of work. Let me give you 4 hours at work. Let me pay you for 4 hours alone. Go home and do everything so that we can balance. So if I can come up with different contract arrangement that will make you do lesser hours, but stay at home. It's better for the employer. So you know that if you need employees that will do 10 hours, this person is doing 5 hours. Somebody else is coming to do 5 hours. Everybody is having a fair deal. But you are still investing as an employer 10 hours of work. Not people doing 10 hours at home, forming they're working, but they're not working. So you're actually getting 5 hours, not 10 hours.
Exactly.
So you rather implement part-time roles than thinking it's full-time but remote, but it's actually part-time that you just activated. And that will impact your business.
So what do you say about, for example, HRs not willing to hire people who insist on remote works because of this track record? I've heard HR say that, no, it cannot work. They will not do the job. They will not do. Do you think that they should just try it out and see? Because you just gave an example of someone who was excellent, started working remotely and, dropped in performance. And then to even onboard the person back was a problem. So do you think it's worth risking at all?
Honestly,
like if you have an excellent person, do you think you want to go through that risk? What if this person now goes home and drops the ball and we can't now get that effectiveness again?
Honestly, you need to ask Elon Musk this question. Because you need to ask
I didn't see that
Elon Musk this question. He should be the one on this set. You're asking Elon Musk, why will he bring everybody back to work and they were on remote for long? What exactly? So, because the question you're asking me, we must always ask what the dog saw that is barking. So, and Elon Musk has gone further than me. So we need to ask Elon Musk what he's saying. I feel these answers will help us because this is something you're trying out. You must make sure what you are trying out, just like you're talking about someone needs to play. You're trying out a striker that you're not sure whether he's going to score goals. How critical is winning for you will determine your choices. So, but if the employee is showing, you can come up with a different kind of contract, productivity-based contract, meaning that it's the productivity of the talents that determines what you pay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that if the talent wastes time, because another thing again is that talent will not want it. They want the talent to be fixed. But if you want to do it, then deploy productivity-based system.
I was actually going to say that is there no measure that they can use? Let's say, for example, someone who writes articles, for example, right? On site, you were meant to write 10 articles.
Yeah.
Off site, you are meant to write 10 articles. So if you can wake up by 3 a.m. and do all your 10, no problem.
Excellent.
Go to the market. But as long as all 10 articles, and you must be available for a call when they need.
Excellent.
So
long that's there, and you know that you now tie that to pay.
People are scared of that.
No, if it's tied to pay, you start seeing things like because people I know of a guy that told me that it was implemented in the country in a company in America, whereby when a visitor comes in to see you, you are the only one that can use your card to to give access to the visitor. And as you're giving access to your visitor, it knocks you out of work. When the visitor is leaving, it clocks you in again. So nobody can open for your visitor than yourself. But they're not saying visitors should not come. But all the hours will be collated and sent to payroll. So the payroll, it will affect your salary. That person visit will affect your salary because
No, but what if the visitor? I mean, I'm sorry we're running out of time, but what if the visitor that came is, let's say, a sister that just came, not intending to disturb you, just came in and went doing her own thing?
yeah, but you open for that visitor, but it's not you're with your sister now. You're not working for the company that time.
No, but like your sister knows you're working, right? So she just comes in and maybe goes upstairs and is watching TV, and in the evening she leaves.
Why would she come to your work?
So she cannot come and visit me.
Just go and watch TV. Maybe you didn't buy
Yeah,
TV for your
like,
sister.
no,
You
I
should
mean-
buy TV at home. You should buy TV for your sister.
No, because I mean, let's say a younger sister is just, maybe she's off work and she's just bored and she wants to come stay. Or let's say I'm even going too far. Let's say because of my job, I can't enter the kitchen to cook and I paid someone to come cook for me. So I open the door, she enters the kitchen, spends 4 hours in the kitchen and goes.
Office kitchen.
My own.
At home.
Yes.
No. Is it are you talking working from home when you're working from one side?
Yeah, I'm talking about working from home because
Okay.
I understand the example means that if you're working at home and you use
on
your
site.
card. Oh, on site.
I'm talking about on site.
Okay, I was wondering
No.
somebody cannot come inside my house.
No. I'm talking about when you're working on site.
Okay, because
You
that's
know,
very dicey,
you're clocking.
Yeah, because if someone comes into my house,
Oh,
that's what I thought.
No.
Okay.
Working from home, working on site.
Okay.
They can say people can visit you, but it knocks them out.
Right, I just understood. Okay, well, it's been interesting. I didn't want it to end, but I mean, it's been really interesting. Well, what we're trying to say is this is a long-standing conversation. A lot of people will go for remote, some will be against remote, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether or not you're working on site. What matters is your level of productivity, and hopefully it does not drop. Because of our time, we will not be able to go too long into explaining what we just said, but I'm sure that this gives you a little bit of clarification if you want to be honest with yourself. And we have Mr. Ajibola Mamile to thank for that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Well, for more interesting episodes and business-related topics, if you want to see more of this, do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platform at We Are Ceed Academy. And please share with your friends. People who work definitely want to see things like this because, I mean, these questions are not just things we bring out randomly. They are things that we see on a daily basis. So, till I come your way again next time with another episode of Ceed Chat, my name is Blessings Masugu. Have a lovely day.
Ceed Academy, your growth partner.